Hello, darlings. It's Chris again with We Need to Have Fun with Chris Godinez. So I am going to fill you in on things you may or may not know about Arizona. One, it's really hot. It's really hot. And actually today is not that bad. So it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and it is, I don't know if you can see that or not, it's about 105, 104. It's hot. So if you are going to be visiting our great state of Arizona, you want to be prepared for it to be warm in the summertime. So literally, it's like, okay, in southern Spain, there's a saying. It says 9 months of heaven, 3 months of hell. That is exactly the same thing here. So if you're going to be visiting Arizona, you want to be doing it in the wintertime. Trust me on that way. So in the summertime, we get these things called monsoon storms. Now, this year has been weird. We haven't really had one, although tonight they're predicting thunderstorms. I'll believe it when I see it, kind of thing. But when we get the thunderstorms in the summertime, everybody's like, oh, it's a dry heat. Oh, it's a dry heat. Well, right now it is. So at 104, it's not that horrible right now because it's not that humid. But when we get the thunderstorms that come in with the monsoon, it gets humid and then it gets 104 and 90% humidity. Yay, you don't want to do that. Trust me on that one. Best time to visit Arizona would be wintertime. You want to go in the wintertime. So between November and maybe May. It's starting to get really warm in May. Because what happens is, and a lot of people know this, so when in the summertime, when like June, we start getting into the triple digits. And the reason why is because the desert heats up and this desert doesn't cool down. You know how like most deserts kind of like cool down and they get kind of cooler at night? This one doesn't. When it was 117 here, it was 130 in Death Valley. That night, I think it didn't get cooler than 101 here. So it never got cool. It stayed it dropped 17 degrees. Big deal. It's 101 at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, it gets really hot here. So anyway, it gets super, super hot. And in June and July is when it gets up to 110, 115. Like I said, when it was 130 in Death Valley, it was 117 here. And what that does is that then sucks the moisture in from the Gulf of, not the Gulf of Mexico, Baja, the Baja Peninsula. Sucks the moisture in from down south. And then up north at the Mogollon Rim, the water evaporates from all the snow melt, if we have a good year and have snow melt. And then we start getting these monsoon storms. And usually they come in from like the east and the north and the south, usually not the west. But it's climate change has been happening. So this year we didn't get any monsoon. It's almost September and tonight they're predicting thunderstorms. It's like we haven't had the normal monsoon flow that we normally get. Normally, it's like the monsoon starts in I'm thinking June, late June, maybe early July. Didn't do that this year. It's August, and tonight's the first time that we're expecting thunderstorms, which you're gonna laugh. It's like most people are like, thunderstorms, schmundastorms, whatever. But when you live in the desert and it rains, literally everybody comes running out of their house and they're like, oh my God, there's wet stuff coming out of the sky. Seriously, we get really excited over the rain. I know, it's a thing. So anyway, that is something that they do not tell you about traveling to Arizona, is that we do get these crazy monsoon storms, usually in the summertime in a normal year. Like I said, this year's been really weird. The bad thing about the thunderstorms that we get here in the monsoon season, and like I said, it's usually a dry heat until the monsoon hits and then it gets really humid and really hot. This year it's just been dry and hot and 111. We've had over 35 days of 110 or above, which is not normal. That's not normally what we do. So this is kind of a little freaky deaky year. Anyway, but what happens with the monsoon storms, and if the thunderstorms come rolling in, I'm hoping I can show you what that looks like. We get something called a haboob. So it's like a dust storm. It's like this huge, mummy dust storm that comes rolling in. And what it is that the thunderstorms are collapsing and they're hitting the valley floor and then they kick up all the dust. And it can get so bad that you literally cannot see across the street. And one year I couldn't even see the end of my yard. It was like it was really bad. So that's why I'm saying you don't want to travel here in the summertime, because there's all these, weather hazard kind of things. And the bad thing about the haboobs is one time one hit and I was at work and the dog door was open. So we came home to like a house full of dust, which, yeah, no, it's not good. It's not good. Dusting for months after that. Anyway, so you get that. And that's the other thing you need to know about the dust is that it's got a fungus among us. And in the fungus, it causes valley fever. So valley fever is like a fungal infection of your lungs. And, especially with this whole COVID thing, you don't want to be out in that. If you're in Arizona and you see a dust storm coming, get inside, don't go out in it. We go out when the rain comes. We don't come out when the dust storm is going on, because that's no bueno. And you want to keep your dogs out of it too, because dogs can get valley fever. So there is that. What else was I going to tell you? Oh. And so usually when we get the monsoons, we normally get like the, typical monsoon. It's like a downpour. I have to tell you though, the Thailand monsoons were real monsoons, like sheets of rain coming down. Here, yes, it will rain hard, but it's usually not sheets of rain. It's just raining really hard. But the ground is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Really clay kind of thing. So it doesn't absorb the water. So we get a lot of runoff and there's a lot of flooding, and they basically, they start the monsoon season now in like June. They just say, okay, this is the date, this is the monsoon, and then it'll end the middle of September. Really what you're looking for, if you're a weather nerd, kind of like me, you're looking for 3 days or more of the dew point being 55 degrees average. So the average dew point has to be 55 degrees for 3 days or more. And that kind of lets you know that the monsoon has started. So it does that. This year's been so weird. It did it and then it stopped, and then it did it and then it stopped. And I'm like, what are you doing? So, anyway, that is the whole monsoon thing. If you are caught in a monsoon driving, like if you're driving in Arizona, you're driving across Arizona in the summertime, and a dust storm hits, you want to pull all the way over to the side of the road, take your foot off the brake so that people don't follow you. So the bad thing of it is this visibility is so bad that if you have your foot on the brake when you're pulled over to the side of the road, people will just plow right into the back of you. It happens almost every year. Other thing that happens, like I said, we get a lot of runoff. There's a lot of urban flooding. There's a lot of washes that flood, etc. And people get washed away. So you've got to be very, very cautious and very aware of the weather conditions when you're in Arizona in the summertime. Actually, it's a good idea to be aware of the weather conditions no matter where you are. But anyway, that is one of the things to think about. So I was just thinking about this today because we're so excited that hopefully crossing fingers that we're going to get thunderstorms tonight. And if we do, and if we get a dust storm, I'm hoping to come back out and show that to you. The other thing that people don't tell you about, we have scorpions. Oh, yes, we have scorpions. And I think what I'm going to do, if the thunderstorm does not hit tonight, which there's always a good possibility it won't, but I'd like to show you how we hunt the scorpions, because you kind of need to know that if you're going to move here. So yeah, so you go scorpion hunting, but I'll show you that in a later video. But anyway, so I'm going to wait and see. Well, I'm not going to wait and see. I'll start filming again if we actually get a haboob and a dust storm. Oh, my allergies are kicking up. Anyway, that's it. I've been watching the third season of Ozzie and Jack. I just finished that when they went to Hawaii. It was adorable. Oh my God, his kids are so cute. So that was a lot of fun. And I gotta tell you, this is the thing that cracks me up. If my mother were alive, she would shoot me, because I swear to God, Ozzie reminds me of my mother. Not the swearing part. I swear like Ozzie. But my mom would kind of do the same stuff that Ozzie does. Like, no, I don't want to do that. No, thank you. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And then she would go do stuff and she'd be like, oh, this is great. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. Same thing that Ozzie does. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the reason why I like this show, because he reminds me of my mom. So, and like I said, she would kill me if she could hear me say that. I'm sure she's in heaven going, eh. So, There's that. Anyway, all right, so we'll see if we get an actual thunderstorm. If we get the dust storm, I will start filming again. If we don't, I'll just go ahead and post this. But I do want to show you what it is like to hunt scorpions regardless. So this will be part 1, and I'll do my editing thing and splice them together and see if I can video with a black light. So, all right, kids, I will talk to you in a few minutes. Talk to you later.